Good Sunday morning. I'm Jaden Jefferson, and welcome to this week's Community Focus. I'm right now joined by Skylar Beckwith, who is the new chairwoman of the Lucas County Democratic Party. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Jaden. I'm excited to be here.
So, first, just talk to me about your political experiences and how it got you to this point.
Yeah, I was actually born into this work. My mom ran Marcy Kaptur's first campaign way back in the day before I was born. My dad was a community organizer who he and my mom were convinced to move here by Marcy and Peter Uvagi and Al Baldwin, some local legends. When I was born in October and I was in the bassinet on the table with all the folks stuffing envelopes. So, I get this kind of passion for this political work from both of my parents. The first campaign I worked on actually was a small special election in Cincinnati area for Paul Hackett. And then in 2005, I took time off of school. I dropped out of Bowling Green State University and moved to Columbus to work for Sherrod Brown's first Senate campaign. And then I transferred to Ohio State and continued my political work and moved back to Toledo and started running campaigns locally. I ran Councilmember Nick Comive's races, both of his races for city council. One of my dear friends, he and I also ran Carrie Hartman's race for Maumee City Council when she ran a few years ago. So I've got the political chops, hopefully, to bring a unique experience to this new position.
In all those years of experience, what would you say have been the biggest changes that you've seen in the Lucas County Democratic Party as well as the National Party?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. There is so much exciting stuff going on. We have all of these new technological ways to communicate at our fingertips. So I'm super excited. We have been using this kind of like text banking work and ways to get information about folks' voting records. We've been using that to connect with folks for a long time now, but it will be interesting to see how we do this year. This is a massive election year, and the most effective way to communicate with voters is face to face. That's my experience. I am one of those people who I love knocking on doors. I love that really authentic way of communicating, and it doesn't scare me. It scares a lot of people, which I get. But I love doing that door to door or phone calls. We are going to do a lot of that this year, which I'm excited about. So old school and new school.
And it's no secret that this year there definitely isn't a lot of enthusiasm. Even though it's a big election year, people aren't really excited for the presidential election. And so, how does the local party really build excitement in a time when people just aren't?
Yeah, I hear you. I do. I see that as an issue. I think that there are a lot of things that can excite people if we effectively communicate those things. So, from the presidential election down to our local races, we have so many really exciting local folks who are running for office this year, from Amy Stoner for Lucas County Domestic Relations Court to Dave Blythe, who's running as a Democrat against Josh Williams in the 44th District for State House, down to Brittany Jones, Dr. Brittany Jones, who was appointed to Toledo City Council, and she's running for the first time. So I think that if we can communicate the message of, here's what we're getting from the federal level for the president, this CHIPS Act. Sherrod Brown has done so much for working families in Ohio. Marcy Kaptur is just bringing it home for her district. And if we can make sure to effectively communicate that high level stuff, I think we can sort of translate that enthusiasm all the way down the ticket.
In your experience, when it comes to younger voters, what would you say will be the biggest challenge in communicating with them? Because they definitely, more than any other generation, they are holding their elected officials accountable, because no younger voter I've talked to sees Democrat, Republican. They just see help me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I hear that so much. When I moved back to Toledo in 2010, Carrie Hartman and I actually met at the Lucas County Young Democrats. So we just love that kind of work and came up in Toledo politics doing that kind of work. So I'm hoping that we as a team can translate that to connecting with younger voters this year. We've got some really exciting younger organizers who have been brought on by the Ohio Democratic Party and then other campaigns, so Sherrod's campaign, Marcy's campaign. And so we will have those connections. I think we are going to count on, utilizing social media to our advantage. Carrie and I hosted a podcast actually, so maybe we'll bring that back. I don't know. We're gonna, we got to get creative and we've got to meet folks where they are, and we're excited to do that and open to creative ideas about how to do that.
And we're currently talking in late April, which means that we still have weeks on top of weeks to go before November comes. And so you have a lot of time there. How are you going to use it?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to hit the ground running. The Lucas County Democratic Party is going to host monthly training sessions. We're going to call them Blue Wave Academy in partnership with the Wood County Democratic Party. They also have a new young chairman, Zach Schmidt. So I'm excited to have this collaborative effort to try to get resources out to folks on how things like fundraising 101, how to connect with voters, how to pull a list to walk your neighborhood. And one of the other things we really need to do is activate this infrastructure that we already have in place. So precinct committee people who were just elected in the March primary, we've got to get them the resources to connect with their neighbors, because that is the most effective way to communicate your message, right? If you have your next door neighbor talking to you about politics, you're more likely to listen to that person than me, who's calling you from Oregon, right? So we're going to have a robust coordinated campaign to get the word out to voters about Democrats up and down the ticket.
Well, it's going to be a busy election year, no matter what party it is. So I appreciate
that's for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'm super excited about it. I'm a newbie to this role. I've run campaigns, I've run for office, but I'm excited to bring some new energy to this space.
That's this week's Community Focus. I'm Jaden Jefferson, and have a great week.